and a very warm welcome to everyone watching us today on EduTV, where we bring together voices that are shaping the future of education. Today's conversation is centered around a concept that goes far beyond travel. It's about expanding horizons, building empathy, and preparing young learners for a truly global future. We're talking about school students exchange program and how they can serve as a powerful tool for cross-cultural learning and international collaborations. Joining us today, we have two highly respected school leaders who bring with them deep insights from different corners of India. I welcome Mrs. Anupama Ramachandra, the principal of DPS Electronic City Bangalore, a progressive educator and a strong advocate for global exposure in school education. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Pleasure to be here.
And we also welcome Mr. Kundan Lal Dogra, the principal of MB International School, Jammu, a passionate academic leader with a strong belief in value-based and experience-driven education. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Looking forward.
Together, we are here to explore the impact of exchange programs, the opportunities they offer, and how schools, whether it's in metro city or smaller towns, can make them a part of their learning journey. To start with, I'll put this question to both of you. What does a meaningful school student exchange programs looks like in today's world, and why is it important in the Indian context?
May I? Yes, please. Thank you. Cultural exchange program is actually a platform where children, get to know and understand what is happening in different cultures, and above all, how are our cultures related to the other ones. I can share one small example. We do an exchange program with the Korean Cultural Center. So we had a program in the school where we had called the ambassadors from there and the people from the Korean Cultural Center to our school. When they came, they had a good interaction with our team and they told us about that the kind of games that are played in India, whether they are gilli danda, gite, where there's a stick and you hit and you shoot it off, or you play with small marbles kind of things. Those games are played in India as well as in the Korean city of theirs. So it was really a good connect to know. And the people tried to find out that how could these games have traveled, whether they originated from Korean city or they originated from India and they traveled up to that place. So that is how we get to know, we get to, gel together with the same cultures, and we come to know that we are not different from each other. We are all together similar kind of people, and how the cultures get integrated. This is beautifully seen in the cultural exchange programs, I believe.
Right. Anupama, ma'am, your views on the same, please.
Yeah, what I see and I have experienced because I have accompanied students on exchange programs, and I myself have been a participant of an exchange program, which is a Fulbright class teacher exchange program. So I can very confidently share with you that an exchange program basically is exposing students to a set of experiences that they've never had before. So we need to pick up destinations not based on their popularity. So it's not like we want to take children to Switzerland, we want to take children to Paris. No, we have to always consider that when we are taking children to a particular destination, what is the set of experiences that they're going to get? Because one is it should offer something new that is going to broaden their horizons. Secondly, they should be able to have an opportunity to compare and contrast. We are not always taking children to show them something better. Sometimes we are taking them also to show them that we are better. So it is very important for us to keep it in mind that we want children to appreciate our culture, our system of education also. So I feel a typical exchange program for students should have both the components of culture as well as education. So the children should get a fair share of both is what I feel.
Great. Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, talking about your school, DPS Electronic City, you mentioned that you've yourself accompanied a lot of students for cultural exchange programs and the educational exchange programs also. Now, talking about DPS Electronic City, which has always championed innovative educational experiences, Can you share some global collaborations or exchange programs, some example that your school had undertaken a collaboration or an exchange program with a specific country and the changes you've seen in your students as a result of the same?
Thank you for that question, Tanya. Generally, whenever we talk of exchange programs, we always think that students have to travel somewhere. Well, being an electronic city, you know how Bangalore actually champions in the field of technology and AI, and being an electronic city, we do it too. So I would like to share two of my experiences. One is I had accompanied students of DPS when I was in DPS East, of course. I accompanied them to a place called Elsenfeld in Germany. So we at that time were working on technology in movies, right? So I went with a group of children, and what I noticed was, of course, there was a lot of exchange on the topic that we had chosen itself, but besides that, what I noticed was how children learned to adapt themselves to this alien surrounding, I would say, because back then when we went, we were not so exposed to cultures or lifestyle of other places. So, although we had oriented our children, when we went there, there were certain things that were just thrown at them. So, how they were able to cope up with that, you know, being on their own, and how they were able to integrate into the family values. That was something that I thought was very valuable addition to children, that they came back as better people rather than students, I would say. They learn to appreciate what they get in their house, the level of comfort they enjoy, and how it is when they go into the outer world, how they have to be independent is what I felt was a value addition. The other experience that I want to share with you is students of our school. We had a virtual exchange program with students of a school in Bangladesh, Dhaka, Bangladesh. I think it was called Gorashal a pilot school. It was called, yeah. So we had a virtual exchange, and that school was not in a city, it was a little into a rural setting. So when children were, collaborating with them, and we had a very extensive exchange program where we compared what are the games they play, like how Sir was telling, what do we play? What is the way they actually coped up with COVID times? What did they do? Because all these children here, they were able to access classes through some virtual medium, but when they came to know that the students in that school were not able to do so extensively, they realized that they do get much more than students around the world. And of course, the lifestyle, the food that they eat, how do they celebrate festivals? I think this was something that was very, very valuable to the children, because ultimately, exchange programs should open children's global perspectives. They should not feel strange when they have to go somewhere, maybe for their studies, maybe to work later on. They should just feel comfortable because they already know the culture, the lifestyle, the kind of food they eat, the weather conditions. So I thought, that these two programs are something that will always be etched in my memory.
Great. I mean, wonderful examples quoted, ma'am. Dogra sir, coming to you, you spoke about the cultural exchange programs. You mentioned about Gulli Danda and Marble, that the students were quite curious to learn and understand whether these games actually originated from India or they were from Korea. Now, being in Jammu, which is a region which is very rich in tradition and culture, how do you see these cultural exchange programs broadening the mindset of students? If you can quote some examples in terms of the kind of values and growth they bring with them after the cultural exchange programs.
I'll begin with saying that not just the value system, it just clears a lot of doubts of the people. I was just listing the kind of programs that we had with various schools. We had programs with some Japanese schools, Korean schools, Uganda schools, Nepal, UAE, Sri Lanka. During our British Council program, we had with USA schools and Britain schools. And almost whenever we had this program, the first question people asked was, do you have snowfall in Jammu? Is it that when you reach Jammu, you have to be always in winters or something? Then, because of the militancy going around, then they used to ask questions about how are you people living there and with so much of militancy and all. So then we had to, make clarifications to them that Jammu and Delhi are very similar in comparison, whether it's temperature conditions or the weather conditions you can talk about. Jammu and Srinagar are parts of the state, but they're very far off. It's easier to reach Delhi and difficult to reach Srinagar in earlier times. Now, though, it has become easier now. It's 4 to 5 hours of journey from Jammu to Srinagar. So it clarifies a lot of conceptions that people build about the country or the place. You know, when moment any terrorist attack or something takes place in Srinagar, unfortunately, it happens a quite number of times. People keep on asking us, are you people also affected? Are you all safe? Then we need to keep on telling about it. There's a lot of difference in the two places. It's almost like two different states united together to make one. So, one, it helps people to understand about the diversity of the places and broadens their horizons about them. It's not that anything that you see in the media might be correct, it may be different. Due to these exchange programs, we just had a small set of attacks that were occurring in Jammu and Kashmir. And almost from all the places where we were connected through these exchange programs, we were receiving phone calls and messages from there. Are you all safe there? Is everything going on okay and all? So then we kept on clarifying these doubts as well. So this is how we remain connected, and there's a lot of clarification that goes on. Generally, the media in these times, they spread a lot of misinformation. So we all kept on doing the corrections of this event also. In addition to that, the exchange programs are very good opportunities for, networking, as ma'am has rightly said. The kind of network it gets created, that's good. It broadens the horizons of the students, and maybe in later times, when since now we talk about the global placements, if children move out to any other place in the world, they already know that they have been there or they know about that place. So it helps them to easily gel with the people there and get settled down well there. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is something, sir. Not everybody is aware of the fact that yes, Jammu and Srinagar, though they are in the same state, but you actually need to travel a lot of distance, and the things are different in both the cities. Okay. Talking about student exchange programs, which sound very exciting, but a lot of logistical and financial challenges is something that students do experience. And at times that becomes a common hurdle that the schools face. Though now, because of technology, we are able to take up such programs online also. So, like you mentioned about, ma'am also mentioned about an online student exchange program. But other than that, what are the common hurdles that the school face to, and how do you work around them, please? This is for both of you, so any one of you could take up.
Yeah, so you rightly said it, Tanya. That's the biggest challenge that we face whenever we want to take up an exchange program. Convincing parents to send their children and pay, because obviously if you're going to send them anywhere, it's going to cost money, not only internationally, even internally, like Dogra sir and our school could have an exchange program. So one is parents are a little apprehensive of the children's safety, because we allow children sometimes to stay in somebody's house. So have we checked their precedents, and how safe is it for their child to stay in a stranger's house, no matter how much of background check we have done? That is the first thing. Second is, of course, there is a financial element, and it's little more than what they would, I would say, calculate, because generally children are also very smart, and they'll say, ma'am, if I have to go to sir's school, the flight ticket will cost this much. And to stay there, probably hotel is so much. Why are you charging a little more? They don't understand that it's not only for flight tickets and the hotel and their food that we are paying. There are many other charges that we have to cover, local sightseeing, entry tickets, and probably we have to take some things for people there. So it is a task, but parents who see the value in this experience, they readily come. And in fact, they advocated to the other parents also that don't think about the money, because parents also have to understand. I mean, this is something that I want to convey to the parents, that traveling with the family, of course, is fun. We enjoy ourselves, but traveling with their friends as a group, as an educational group, the experience is completely different. And children learn so much, because even when we go as a family, we are always taking care of our children's needs. But when they are on their own, there is much more to gain. And it's not just academic benefits, there are cultural benefits, there are personal benefits, there are career benefits. So I think it would be good that parents think about this before they just calculate and say it's too expensive, so I won't send my child. So yeah, we need to talk to parents, because I think conversation is the only way that we can overcome this hurdle.
Absolutely. Dogra ma'am, Dogra sir, your views on the same.
Yes, very true, ma'am. As the ma'am has rightly said, the most challenging job is to convince the parents and to be doubly and triply sure about the venue where we are taking our children to. Because the risk is both ways. A lot of inhibitions are already there. But then those who have already been there, they become the advocates of these programs. When they come back with their experience sharing, when they come back and they tell, no, it was not like this, the things went very easy and smooth. The school had done an immense amount of planning and ultimately it came out good. Uh, if the program goes good, then we got a lot of advocates. But if perchance any small mistake takes place, then whole blame comes on the person sitting on the chair for all sorts of reasons. So in addition to what ma'am said, the risk factor lies hanging on the principal's head all the times. Because then nobody takes a claim of what happened there. But yes, when the children come back and they show the kind of self-confidence that they have gained, they show the kind of personal growth that they have gained. See, as ma'am has said, when they travel with the family, you already are dependent on your family. But then when you go alone on your own, you come to understand about the importance of independent thinking. That creates an ideology change amongst the parents and the children, and it helps. It does help. But then, if we tell the parent that yes, you have already done a lot of hand holding of your children, give them little independence, because when they're in the school, these small exposures will help them. Tomorrow they have to go for a bigger task outside. How will they adapt to the situation? So they will come as a testing time for the parents to know and understand, if they send their child out for studies, will the child be able to adjust there or not? We are often seeing a lot of cases. Parents are pumping in a lot of finances, putting them into a college outside, say in some part of the country or in some part of the world. And they don't settle there after 2 to 3 months, then the children have to come back because of the adaptability issues, because of the independent issues. So all these problems to some extent do get sorted when they have undergone some kind of an exchange program, and it's already there in the mind that these all things can happen when they go out. So it's a very good thing. Only thing is the challenge is big enough to convince the parents. Ultimately, the finances, when it comes to finances, people do think a lot and do judge a lot on that account. That's rightly said by man as well.
Great. Thank you so much for your inputs, sir and Anupama ma'am. Talking about schools in smaller towns. I mean, both of you happen to be from schools which are in, good towns of the country. But talking about schools which are in smaller towns, what kind of challenges do you think they face in terms of explaining the parents the importance of school exchange programs?
Yeah, Tanya, I would like to quote a small example here. And I really feel that in smaller towns, the exposure to these exchange programs is not very prevalent and not so extensive. So I feel it is easier to convince those parents. I know of a school which is close to Mysore. It's in a village actually. This is the third year that they're sending their students to Japan. And every year, so this is the third year, around 18 students have gone to Japan, and they stayed there for about 2 weeks. And I see that more and more number of parents are enrolling their children for this exchange program. So I think the only challenge that schools in smaller towns face is lack of awareness or lack of information. And I don't think many schools who are willing to be participating in the exchange programs gets in touch with these smaller schools. They're always trying to reach out to bigger schools because they feel the parents there are educated, they would know about it. But I sincerely feel that children who are in smaller towns also deserve to be part of such exchange programs, and we should check out those schools also whether they would be willing to, because there is a lot of energy, there is a lot to be exchanged also. Even when I think of my school, it would be really beneficial if my students could exchange a visit to a school which is in a smaller town or a second tier city or something like that, because eventually these exchange programs are done for a reason, because they should be exposed to diversity. And I think that is the challenge, that those smaller schools never come to know of it. So if we take the trouble to reach out to them, I think the response will be positive.
Wow. Dogra, sir, your views on the same, please.
Well, that's a very genuine and a great idea, madam. I had never thought about it earlier because we initially always thought that the places where small places where the schools are also smaller in number and small schools, they might not even be thinking about it. This is what perspective I had got earlier. Maybe that this perspective needs to be changed. I've yet to come across such kind of a situation, but then definitely we'll try our best to get connected to such kind of a school, and definitely it will be a great learning experience. Thank you for the update.
Yeah. So, Tanya, I would just like to add that the last week we had two Fulbright global classroom teachers from Chicago visiting our school. So there were 19 teachers who came from the US on this program, and they were sent to different schools in and around India. So there were some participants who, of course, two came here. Two of them came to a school in Hosur. Two of them went to Varanasi. There were some who went to a government school where resources are not plenty. So they went to different kinds of schools so that they were, when they are regrouping today and tomorrow, they will be sharing their experiences so that all of them get to know how different kinds of school function in India. So they did not ensure that all of them went to elite schools, all of them went to schools where English is the medium of instruction. They were sent to all kinds of school, and I think that should be the spirit of exchange programs, where we actually showcase the reality and everybody gets to experience different kinds of educational institutions, is what I feel.
I think that was a very good initiative because, like you said, that there's a lack of awareness in smaller town schools. So, before we move to the last leg of the segment today, ma'am, coming back to your inputs, lack of awareness in schools in smaller towns, apart other than what you've already mentioned that you did with last week, what else can be done? I mean, do you think if we get certain support or certain support from not only our organizations but even from the government to help to bring up that awareness to smaller town schools, then what should be the things that should be considered to do that, please?
So, exchange programs take a lot of preparation. A lot of planning has to go into it. And like Sir said, there are a lot of risk factors also. So we need to associate ourselves with the right traveling partner, somebody who can travel, with us, somebody who can plan the entire itinerary for us, so that once we do it with reputed partners, that is when we will be able to get the trust of the parents. So I feel that people who are authentic, or people who have given a good service before, they can be empaneled. Like we are a CBSE school, so we can have organizations which are empaneled with CBSE, so that we need not do a lot of background check. Of course, we have our travel partners, but in general, when you talk about exchange programs, I think it would be beneficial if we already know who we have to contact. Like, for example, I don't know where to send my children, but I'm interested in exchange programs. So they should be somebody who I can just get in touch with and tell them, look, I am interested to take my children to Korea. I'm interested in taking my children to, a city in the United States of America. So do you already have a list of schools who are interested?
Data.
And who should I be pairing with for my travel arrangements? So that will really help, because a lot of resources are spent in checking whether this school is good enough for us to go, and are the living conditions okay and hospitable? Will they take care of us? How will our children be? Are they going to spend a good time? How are the weather conditions in places? We don't know anything. So if all that is done before, and we have a website where we can go and we can just check and we can just get on with the program, I think that will help not only the school but also the students, the parents. Parents also can go on the website and see which are the places that we'll visit, what are the benefits for their child, who is going to take the children there. And that will make it a lot easier for us to convince the parents, because they already know that this is a program approved by CBSE. So I think that is something that I look forward to.
Dogra sir, will you want to add something to it?
I think ma'am has covered almost all the points. Yes, it comes very valid. And whenever we say that CBS is already empaneled these number of travelers and this kind of program have already taken place somewhere, then we can always cross-check and see if some schools in, say, some part of the country already been there. So it becomes easier, when principals interact with each other and it gives them a confidence. Yes, they have gone, they have undergone this program, so they might be that they have taken this benefit of this program, and there were some certain things that to be taken care of, so we go fully prepared along with that. So if such kind of hand holding or some support mechanism is there from CBSE side or some agency which is looking after the schools, whether it is in the government or in the board side, that will be of great benefit. Then only, the experience would be really transformative experience, and it will not just be a travel experience. Maybe that if we go somewhere, we are not that prepared, it just becomes a travel experience and not a transformative experience. So that is what is to be taken care of.
Absolutely. I think these are something which are important to be considered. Now, coming to the last question, uh, talking about a situation, maybe your school is selected to partner with a school, say in Japan for that matter. How you as a school leader would go about selecting students and preparing them culturally, emotionally to ensure the outcomes you hope they are able to achieve the same.
Uh, yeah.
Yes, sir, please.
I think whenever if you are supposed to select some students for any kind of a program, so we can as school leaders, we can frame a team of people who can kind of create some projects which the students should do a self study before they start to tell about that I am going to go or not. So some smaller set of projects can be given to the children. They can do a research at their end, read books, follow the internet, go to the websites of the places and know what kind of weather conditions are going to be there, how things are working there, what kind of students are there, what is the kind of studies that are being done there, what are the lifestyle of students at home and the schools, and how people live there. So some projects can be made by the students, discuss, some presentations can be done so that we can come to know about the interest level of the children, of what kind of broadening of horizons they are looking forward to, and how are they going to go about it. And of course, their pronunciation skills, spoken skills, the local language, everything, they should not have an idea. Then only we should select a set of students. And finance, as madam has already said, that has also got to be taken care of.
Anupama ma'am.
Yes, adding on, Tanya, to what Sir said, I honestly feel, because I have been part of exchange programs, like I said, I generally like to keep it open to students. Anybody who's in good general health, I think, is eligible to be part of exchange programs. Because sometimes, just like how takeaways can be diverse, all of us go to the same place, but each one of us has a different takeaway. Similarly, the reason for being on an exchange program is also different for each child. So I feel that we should just allow every child to be part of exchange programs for whatever reason. Some of them just want to go because their friend is going. Some of them want to go because they want to be away from their family for a few days. Some of them want to go because they've never been to a foreign country. Some of them want to go because they've always wanted to go to Japan or somewhere like that, right? So I feel whoever is in good health should be taken. Sometimes we shy away from taking problematic children, but I sincerely feel that this kind of an experience will bring the child back on track, that when they see the outer world, because eventually they are looking at how they make global connections, networking happens. And when they are in a smaller crowd, they realize that their disruptive behavior is only being a challenge for them. So I feel that the exchange program can be used as a medium to bring in a lot of changes in their academic performance, in their growth, and personally also, they learn to take care of themselves. So I feel that any child who's a member of our institution should be eligible and deserves to be part of any exchange program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your inputs, Dogra sir and Anupama ma'am. This has truly been an enlightening conversation. I mean, school student exchange program clearly is much more than a travel opportunity. It's like an education in itself. Before we wrap up, one small message from your side for the school leaders who wish to start such initiatives but are not sure about it. Dogra sir, we could start with you.
Yes, of course, it is. This kind of an exposure is actually the one that every child almost should be able to take up. That will transform the children. As ma'am has given a very right example, the troublemakers, they might become out as good leaders and take caregivers to their set of teams who have gone out. So it is totally a transformative kind of a thing. It broadens the horizons of the children, makes them to be independent thinkers, because ultimately this is what we actually need our children to be in the times to come. So on the whole, what we can say is this is going to be the best experience or exposure that a child can get when he is in the school, and a lifelong memory that can be created.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Anupama ma'am.
Yes, Tanya. So, my message to educators, parents, whoever has aspirations or apprehensions about exchange program is that we have to look at student exchange programs as opportunities. Of course, I already said cultural immersion, or an opportunity to learn new languages, but it provides profound networking opportunities. I know many students who went on exchange programs and their networking was so strong that they have gotten into universities for their higher education, and they've also created such strong bonds that they were able to even have career opportunities, right? So they come to know. I know of a student who went to Germany, saw the place, and decided that he wanted to do his mechanical engineering there, then started learning German because that is a prerequisite condition, and finally got into a college. So you see how life transforms. So I think that you should take the trouble. It is not easy, it is very challenging. A lot of effort has to be put in. We need to do a lot of talking. But I think when you look at the benefits that it brings to the stakeholder who is the child, I think it is worth it. And going forward, even for teachers who accompany these children also, when they come back, you will see that they are filled with ideas that I saw this in that place and I want to give it a try. So that is how we also become global educators. So I strongly recommend that schools do take up exchange programs because it does make a difference.
Miss Moderator, can I add one thing?
Sure, sir.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Mr. Kundalal Dogra. Anupama ma'am, Mr. Dogra's advocacy for exchange programs and students' welfare is tremendous. And Kundalal sir, Anupama ma'am has been helping EduTV before even inception. She is the secretary of Sahodaya Association of Bangalore. I think they have got more than 500 schools.
Was the secretary.
I was, sorry. Former.
That's how it keeps changing.
Yeah. Ma'am, what I have seen in one of our experience recently, the school students of both the schools kept They made a forum, online forum beforehand only, and majority of the students knew each other. In fact, it went up to that level. The student from the foreign school came to receive the Indian students at the airport, and their bonding was very strong. And I think you have given one case study also. The student went to Germany, like the place. Definitely, I think weather, atmosphere, culture, that matters a lot to take a decision for shifting. That's a very good thing. Thank you so much. That's all.
Yes, I know we can make use of technology now.
Yes.
And the student already knows how the host home looks like. So they know how is their front yard, backyard, which room are they going to be sleeping in, because the children are giving them a home tour also, that this is
Right.
how my home looks. And so we can leverage technology and AI to ensure that exchange programs are more engaging, and we need not waste time in getting to know each other.
Anupama ma'am, next week what we can do, like Kundanlal sir is on the top of India, sitting out there in Jammu and Kashmir. You are sitting down south, Bangalore, the Millennium City and the IT city, and you are in the electronic city only. I think students of MVS International Jammu and Delhi Public School, Bangalore Electronic City, we can start with some online forum coming week on any topic, a small program, but I think a lot of things will be transpired and the students will come to
Will
know a
be.
lot about Jammu and vice versa.
Absolutely.
We can always do that.
Yes.
Yes, we
Open
will
to
do
it.
that. Tanya, set up things.
We'll do that.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anupama ma'am and Dogra sir. Thank you for your valuable time and insight.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thank
It
you.
was,
Thank you from
it,
Edu
was,
TV.
it was indeed a great learning experience once again. Thank you so
And
much.
this conversation will be useful to all edu leaders, principals across the world also. Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.